No. Hi, guys. Welcome to my live stream. I have been sitting talking to myself for the past 6 minutes. This is so much fun. This is what happens when you don't go live and YouTube changes their back end and you're using a software to stream. So if you guys can hear me, would you please do me a favor? Say hello in the chat. I will rewind this boat. I was just on a roll, enjoying myself. Now I can see myself. This makes sense. Hopefully y'all can hear me. If you're new here, my name's Nicole. Welcome to the Kids OT Help channel. I am a mama. I'm an intentional parenting coach, and I am a pediatric occupational therapist. And this channel is geared to really help parents step into the conscious space and parent from a place that feels good, that feels aligned, and that allows them to have more joy-filled moments with their children, less stress, less resistance. And so that is what I'm trying to cultivate here on this channel. So I'm just so grateful to have you here. I'm going to pop in my own window just to make sure that you guys can see me. I do see that I'm live. This is good. Thank you for bearing with me. So how this is going to flow, I have a delay here. I don't want to, let me mute myself just to make sure I can. So how this is going to flow is oh, hi guys. Oh, hey mom, my mom's on this live stream. So if you guys have questions or comments, drop them in the chat and I will pivot my attention from the screen to the chat to flow with you guys and answer your questions as I'm sort of chatting through today's topic, which is all about how the heck do we show up intentionally? How do we show up consciously in the year 2020 that has been oh so very challenging for many of us, right? It has been one for the books. Okay, so yep, looks like I'm on. Thank you guys for saying hello. I'm so happy to see you here. All right, you guys. So I'm trying to recall all the things I said. I'm like, dang it, that was good. I wish I was on live. So I have my little notes here to keep me on track. But the first thing I want to say is that I want to acknowledge that a lot of parents are struggling right now. A lot of parents are struggling. Either you are employed, you are trying to run a business, or you have been at home full time with your kiddo, and maybe it doesn't seem like so much has changed, but in reality, everything has changed. And a lot of us are trying to navigate our own emotions, our own evolution, as well as helping our children feel good in their bodies and manage their emotions as well. It's this very trippy human experience, like experiment that we're all moving through right now. And so I have a lot of compassion and empathy wherever you fall on that line, because the bottom line is this is something that is challenging for all of us. And I had the thought the other day, right now, my family, we're in a smaller space, but I was thinking about how grateful I am to have a backyard, because at least we can go outside and play and change the environment slightly. Whereas there are so many families who are in even smaller spaces and don't have any outdoor space, and who have entirely been relying on community spaces like community playgrounds and parks and activities and gyms to help their children not only develop gross motor skills and social emotional skills, but to regulate their body, to get the energy out and to feel good mentally. And so to have that stripped away is an incredible challenge. And so I think this is the first point, is just acknowledging that even though we have high standards for ourselves in terms of how we show up for our children and how we want to be conscious and intentional in guiding them through this and leading ourselves through this, the bottom line is that we are human and we are going to have challenging days, and that is okay. And what I want to say is, please allow yourself to be human. Please allow yourself to feel the emotions that come up as we move through these weeks, these months, and the rest of the year. It is okay to have days where you're like, I just want to cry today. I don't want to do anything. I'm putting on, a movie marathon for my child because I need to take care of myself. It's important that we take care of the human. Because when we start to suppress emotions and we start to deny the experience that is happening for us, it builds negative momentum, and it's something that is going to come up regardless of whether we like it or not. And we're going to have to heal it, and we're going to have to deal with it later. And also, when we talk about leadership as a parent, if you've watched my intentional parenting video that is highlighted on my channel, it's about us going first, right? It's about us leading ourselves so that we can lead our children. So how are we going to navigate our experience and our emotions and our feelings? And how are we going to show our children this is how we can move through our feelings and our emotions in a productive and a healthy way? So I think it's really important to, again, allow yourself to feel the feels and lead yourself through that. And I will touch on the next point, bringing our children into the mix with this, because we're all doing this together. So let me check in with your comments and see if we have anything. I want to say hi to you guys. Raven, Jeanette, hi guys. Claudia, Shaya, I hope I'm saying that correctly. And Roby was about to ask if I was missing something. No, Shaya, you weren't missing something. I was missing technical skills. Sweet Nona, hello. Lorde, hello. The Good Villager, hi. Self-care is absolutely a priority. If we don't take care of ourselves, we can't properly take care of our children. That's exactly right. And that's the whole paradigm shift, because we've been taught that, our children come first. And it's hard for us to say, actually, we come first, because you've heard the saying. I know it's a little, at this point, it's like, it's everywhere, but it's like, you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's just so very true. And again, we need to lead ourselves to set the example for our children. So we absolutely need to come first, and we absolutely need to take care of ourselves. We absolutely need to check in with ourselves. Whatever your practice looks like, whether that's journaling, whether that's 5 minutes in the morning, just to set one intention. What is your one intention for the day? Is it that you make one beautiful memory with your child? The rest of the day could go to crap. We can't control everything, as we see. That was all an illusion to begin with. But if you set your intention, there is, in this day, among all the things that may happen, of all the things that may go right, of all the things that may go wrong, I am intentionally creating one beautiful moment with my children. That is your focus, and you walk in alignment with that. So all of these little tools really help us, again, stay in alignment with that bigger vision, which is part of my next big point. But before I jump into that, I just want to tie in, navigating our human experience and sharing it with our children. Because a lot of times I think we have come from generations in which it's like the parents, we hide what's really going on for us. We remain strong for our kiddos. They don't see us cry. They don't see us weak. But just back to what I was saying before, not only is that doing us a disservice, it's doing our children a disservice. So how can we communicate with our children in an age-appropriate, developmentally appropriate manner to share with them what's going on for us? Because in all likelihood, they're sharing the same frustration, the same sadness, the same disbelief that we are. And in fact, you think about our poor kiddos. I know I've got a range here. I have brand new moms. And then, maybe I have some moms on here who have been riding with me for a while. And, Kai's 4 years old at this point, and he understands quite a bit about what's going on. And I think about, this is a significant chunk of his life that has been dramatically modified in terms of what he's been able to do and what he's able to do now, right? We were really gaining momentum in building social skills and emotional skills. And so much of that is bringing our children integrating them in the community, having them interact with kids, whether it's preschool, daycare, or a park day, team sporting events. And we've halted that. And of course, it's for the greater good. We're trying to protect people, but we're going to have to then look at how we properly reintegrate children into the community, and that is weighing heavy on some parents, like what am I going to have to reteach these basic skills to my children because they've been out of practice for so long. So again, having conversations with your child. This is how mommy's feeling today. How are you feeling today? What I have done, and I found it to be so therapeutic, not only for myself, but it was also for Kai. And the dialogue was flowing so beautifully with this activity, was just like a sit down, fine motor activity of drawing. We were coloring in an adult color book. I had one sitting around, and we put on some meditation music, and we both sat at the kitchen table and we started coloring in this adult coloring book. It's a relatively like mindless activity for obviously an adult and a 4-year-old. And it was just so beautiful, like the free flowing thoughts that came through as he's discussing, I love this and I love spending time with you. And I can follow up with questions about how does it make your body feel? And so integrating these types of activities where there's also an opportunity to have a deeper discussion about emotions and feelings and thoughts is important, because again, these kiddos are navigating a new normal, and we're trying to figure out how to lead them through that. So let yourself feel, let your kiddos feel, and then find a space or a time or an activity where you guys can come together and share those experiences with one another. And then, so what do we do next, right? It's like we're having a day. Our kids don't feel great. We don't feel great. The next big thing I really want to talk to you guys is about returning to your vision or the bigger picture. And the question I want to ask you is like, what are you in this for? And I think that now more than ever, it is so very important to have a bigger vision, to have a reason, right? Like a guiding light, a North Star. So if you don't have one yet, or if you're not clear on what your life vision is, your vision for parenting, like I think it's such a great time to set one up, because having that clarity, having that bigger picture is always going to help you move through the obstacles and the challenging times. And that is how we're able to get back in alignment with that which we desire, right? So, for me, I talk a lot about raising Kai to become emotionally intelligent, and courage is another word, free is another word. And so if these are the words and these are the vision, and this is like what I am working towards, then in any challenging moment or any obstacle that comes up, I ask myself, what's the next best step? What's the next step that's in alignment with that bigger vision? So I would encourage you all to take some time to really get clear on that and think about like, what are you doing this for? What is your vision in your life? What's the big picture? What are you aiming to do? And it helps make the challenging moments just that, moments. They start to lose their power to be able to consume us completely, because we will always have our energy and our mind's eye and our soul's vision on that bigger purpose. And we're always going to realign with that, if that makes sense. All right, checking in with you guys. Amanda, hello, beautiful. Any advice on getting my baby to crawl? She can do the hands and knees posing, but doesn't want to get moving. Thank you. Amanda, if you are not in my Kids OT Help Facebook community group, I would recommend doing that, because I have some videos in there. I've got some live trainings that might help you. Also, if you just search on my channel, you're saying crawling. So search on my channel, crawling. I do have several videos that come up. I'm not sure if you've seen them all, but I would watch that and then join the Facebook group. If you go to any of my other videos, not this live, because I don't have metadata set up yet, you'll see a link to join the Facebook group. So come on in. She's 9 months old. Okay. All right. Absolutely. Create memories that last a lifetime during this time period. Considering the circumstances. Yeah. Yeah. So it's, it may seem daunting, like, oh, how are we going to create? It's in the little things. I think a lot of us, we forget how little our children need. And just being present is such a present for our child. And I'm reminded of this all the time as I'm trying to navigate running my business and having Kai here full time. He has the ability now to say to me, like, Mom, I need attention. And then I know that I'm like out of alignment in terms of how I'm showing up for him, or maybe like how I'm navigating my own time or setting boundaries around work. And so just your presence is a present, and it's not about all of the grand things that we had access to before, whether it was, again, the play gyms or Disneyland or Disney World. It's like, take a cardboard box, paint it outside together, turn it into a rocket ship, use a towel or a sheet, tuck it into your shirt and be superheroes and run around. Like, these are the things your children will remember and cherish and truly look back on and say, thank goodness, like, what a time. And I'm just so happy that I had my parents' attention. I'm so happy that I had my parents, quality moments to create these life memories. So keeping it simple is also really important. Talk about feelings, share each other's emotions. It helps them. It helps them within to express themselves. Absolutely. We are modeling for them. It's very, very important. So, and then just moving in. So we've got the big picture. You guys are getting clear on what it is that you're desiring to impart for your children, or the legacy you're building, right? And so again, shifting and realigning with that big picture just really looks like taking time for yourself to have moments where you're aware. Awareness is key for me. It's hard to shift. It's hard to realign if we are unaware of how we're showing up, right? So and this is just a practice of really allowing ourselves to be in touch with our body and our emotions. And honestly, this may sound really cold, but if you're at the beginning stage of this, where you're like, I feel so disconnected from my emotions, and I couldn't tell you like what's going on inside of me. You can do something as simple as set a timer in your phone that goes off 3 times a day, whatever times a day you want. And it just says, how am I feeling? And you literally take 2 minutes, a pen and a journal, and just like tap into your body. And what am I feeling? Do I feel tension in my shoulders? Do I feel stressed? Do I feel overwhelmed? Do I feel tired? Like, simply, like, these are the basics. This is the foundation, but like, it becomes much more automatic to just tap in and say, like, ooh, I feel off. Like, you may hear people say that, ooh, I feel off. And though you may need more time to process the exact emotion of what off means, to me, that means that like that awareness muscle is growing very strong. And for you to say off means that you're probably out of alignment with that bigger vision that you've set up, right? So you feel off, you don't really feel in flow. You don't really feel in sync with the you that shows up and creates the magic that is within or encompassed within that bigger vision. So these are just things that I want to share with you guys that have been really helpful for myself. And I want to share a story with you too. So it was about a few nights ago. It has been a week. It has been a week, you guys. Kai has, I feel like he has been doing so well throughout this pandemic situation, very adaptable, very flexible. And, just kids are so resilient. And I feel like us adults are so much more fragile than children, which is funny because we are so focused on the kids. Like, are they going to be okay? And it's like, are we going to be okay? Like, again, step 1 right here, start with you, because your kids are going to feed off of the energy that you are putting out there. But we just had one of those weeks. Kai was having a really difficult time. The behavior was very uncharacteristic. We were all struggling. My husband, myself, and Kai were just all at our wits' end. I'm in the third trimester, so I'm aware of the fact that my patience is much thinner than it typically is. And we were exhausted. I mean, like, bedtime is a struggle. Like, this kid is up all night. I gotta go potty. I need water, blah, 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 all these things. And, it's like 10 o'clock before he finally just goes to sleep. And then, like, Mike and we're finally in bed and we're like, exhausted. And I said to him, I was like, what in the heck? Like, what is going on? And he's like, I don't know. And I had this thought, like, in that moment, there was the shift that happened. And I said to him, what if we show up just a little bit differently tomorrow? And just for a little context, like, we have a lot going on right now. Obviously, I am pregnant. Obviously, Kai's at home running the business. This business is like growing exponentially, and so is my husband's at the same time. So we're both trying to manage schedules and just this growth. And then we're also moving. We're moving in a few weeks. And so I said to my husband, I was like, we're probably putting off a lot of frantic energy unknowingly. And Kai is picking up on this and also trying to process this and work through this. So I said, all right, so tomorrow, like, we are going to be extra intentional. And, when Kai comes in the morning, he's our alarm clock to wake us up. It's not like a 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes thing. Like, we greet him. We're super excited. Like, good morning. Yeah, let's get up. Let's do this. And by we, I mean Mike, because I'm pregnant and I'm staying in bed as long as I can. So we were like, yeah, let's try that. And it's very interesting because that intentional shift made a huge difference for the rest of the day. And I'm not saying this is foolproof, and I'm not saying it's going to work 1,000% of the time, but I noted, like, Kai's behavior was just, he was a different kid. He was back to himself. It was like, there was less resistance. There was less arguing. There was less explaining. There was just more of like an appreciation and acceptance of like, oh, wow. Okay. Like, I feel you guys here now. Yeah, you may have been physically here, but your mind is probably a million and other one places because we have so much going on. So just that small shift in being intentional made a really big difference in his day. And it's those small wins that are so important, you guys. It's those small wins that I want you to journal on at the end of the night and just say, like, I'm grateful for this. Because when we speak about it, or when we write about it, or when we share about it with our friends, our family, or whatever else, it cements in us that this stuff matters. It cements in us that we can make these intentional small shifts and see a profound impact on our children. And then it helps us gain confidence in our ability to continue to grow and to continue to move in alignment with a higher standard. So celebrate the small wins, even if it was a moment in time or a day or whatever it is, it still counts, and it's still really, really important. And it's still part of this beautiful masterpiece that you are painting as mom, as dad, as caregiver to your baby. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. Checking in again. Interesting. Yes, interesting. Do you guys have any other questions for me before I pop off? Was this fun? Was this helpful? I would love your guys' feedback. I definitely intend on doing more lives. It's nice to not have to get out like the camera and the lights and the whole shebang and edit, and just get on here and have conversations with you guys. So if this is something you're into, let me know in the comment section, and we can definitely do this more often. But again, I just want to send you guys a lot of love. That was really like the main theme of all of this, is that I feel you. And I know that each of us has our own unique struggle on top of dealing with everything that's happening in the world. And I think community is more important now more than ever. Obviously, we are limited in the types of community or the way in which we can engage with community, but how cool is it? How lucky are we to live in this moment in time where we can hop on live with one another on YouTube? I'm sure most of us from many different countries around the world come together, have a shared experience, show some compassion and love, and just really build one another up to continue doing what it is we came here to do, be great parents, build our legacies, and help ourselves thrive, and in turn help our families and our kiddos thrive. I'm super grateful for you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you in the next live stream. Bye.